Hey guys, I'm Rob Richards, part of Team PowerTech, here with the new functional trainer. Now, with biceps being perhaps one of the most popular muscle groups to train, everyone is now looking for a way to grow their biceps but still keep that definition and muscular separation. So today I'm going to show you 3 exercises to help you achieve that. The first exercise is the bar curl, one of the best exercises for adding some mass to the arms. But again, we want to keep it toned and keep that definition there as well. So by keeping the bar attached to 2 separate isolated cables, we're adding a level of difficulty into the exercise that's going to keep those stabilizing muscles firing throughout the full range of motion. Let me show you how it's done. Now that might look simple enough, but really I've made it that much more challenging by, again, stepping forwards on one leg, keeping my back heel raised up. This keeps me a little bit unstable, meaning I'm having to work that much harder to keep that weight central and curl it up. Secondly, my arms are slightly forwards and I'm never fully lengthening my arms out. The bar is always keeping some level of tension on my bicep. And thirdly, because I have weights pretty much attached to either end of the bar, unlike a machine, a fixed bar machine, I can't just lift up and down. I have several different ranges and planes of movement to have to control the weight through. So up to the top, breathe out, exhale and squeeze, and then a little bit slow on that tempo back down, but without lengthening the arms to their full length, then repeat the exercise. Okay, moving on to the next exercise. And for this, I'm going to change the bar to a single handle and put the cable pulley down to its lowest setting. Performing these single arm cable concentration curls is a great way to really add that peak to the top of the bicep. And depending on where you place your elbow and pull that handle in, it's really also a great exercise for toning this outer portion of the bicep, helping to give you that separation between the bicep and the tricep. To perform it correctly, a few pointers. Squat down as though you were doing a back exercise, so you have your hips pushed back, your knees soft but no further over than where your toes are. Then keeping the arms straight, we're going to keep the elbow and shoulder aligned, curling the handle and our wrist up towards our opposite shoulder. All the time keeping our back straight, our chest slightly elevated and our abs kept in tight. Now I mentioned about depending on where you have the elbow. Let me explain. If we angle the elbow slightly outwards so that the shoulder and the elbow are still in line, but we're bringing the handle and the wrist more towards the upper area of this chest, you'll see the difference in which part of the arm is being worked. A little bit more of that outer part of the bicep, like that. A very different feeling than that first bar curl, but equally as important for helping to define the overall development of the bicep. Moving on to the third exercise of our bicep trio. And for this, I'm going to use the opposite side of the cable machine and put this pulley up towards its top position. This final exercise is another great exercise to really help keep that bicep, adding overall definition, shape and conditioning to the entire arm. What I've done is have the cable pulley up to its top position, and with a single handle I'm going to step away from the machine so that my arm can be at full length. From here, keep the upper arm fixed in that parallel position to the floor and at a right angle to my body. And now just curl the handle up towards my shoulder without allowing this upper arm to move. Really is an isolated exercise, and to get the most out of this you don't need that much weight, so you may find yourself having to change weights throughout the different exercises that we've done throughout this trio. In that perspective, you may want to stick with each exercise and perform 2 to 3 sets, aiming to add maybe a rep or 2 per set to keep that intensity climbing high. Now, a few pointers about this exercise. When you're curling, again, keep the wrist, elbow and shoulder in full alignment to keep maximum stress of that weight on the bicep head. And secondly, to really get the most out of this high cable bicep pulley, to get peak contraction, exhale as you're pulling in and squeeze the bicep as though someone's got their hand around your arm and they're tightening their grip. Really squeeze that bicep at the top just for a split second, and then control the weight back down but without lengthening the arm fully. This will help keep some tension in the bicep and really make it an efficient exercise. Hopefully those 3 bicep exercises will allow you to take your arm exercise to that next level, increasing lean muscle mass but also keeping some tone and definition in there as well.